Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today we are going to start the new chapter, that is reproduction in plants and animals. In our previous class,
Sir, previous chapter question answer we have to write in a copy. Question answer in copy. Previous chapter.
in your homework copy, you need to write that I have already mentioned. No?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So we are starting the chapter reproduction in plants and animals, page number 15. What is reproduction?
So it is the process by which an organism gives rise to new organisms of its own kind.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, same species.
Hmm,
Yes, sir.
correct. So across the, is it true that all living organisms must undergo the process of reproduction?
No, sir.
Is it possible that any organism they are not undergoing reproduction?
No, sir.
It is not
No,
possible.
sir.
That means whenever we are talking about living, non-living, then non-living thing, some stone is sitting there, we will be able to reproduce? No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
If there is a life in that, that means it should be able to propagate, it should be able to make more of its own type. That is one of the fundamental definition of the life of a living organism, the ability to make more copies of itself. So when we use this term reproduction, okay, it is coming from Xerox. Is it? Can we say like that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that means
Yes, sir.
that means this reproduction,
Yes, sir.
this reproduction and Xerox is the same.
Yes, sir. Similar.
Sir, it will similar.
So if the process, suppose we are giving some paper for Xerox machine, okay, so it is going to make a exact copy, exact ditto to
Yes,
ditto,
sir.
no difference. It is not going to change that I
Yes,
for
sir.
you and anything. Exactly what is there, it will do
Yes,
it.
sir.
So there it is simply copying, duplicating, okay, what you say can is a printing, replicating, photostat, photocopy, all these things. But once we are talking about the living system, we are using the very specific term, that is reproduction. Okay. Now there are two types of reproduction, asexual and sexual. Because we are saying that when we are doing Xerox, we are getting exactly what we want to Xerox. That kind of condition we will see in asexual reproduction. Okay, that is Xerox is taking place exact. But in sexual reproduction, it is not exactly Xerox. There will be some changes, some variations, some differences between the offspring and the parent. Variation will be there. Okay, because here in asexual reproduction, how many parents are there?
Sir, one.
Only one parent is there. One parent is making copy of itself. That is asexual reproduction.
Yes, sir.
But in the case of sexual reproduction, it requires the two
Sir,
parents.
male and female.
Yes, it requires the two parents. So when the two parents are there, each of the parent will have some different character. They will not be exactly same. So
Yes, sir.
the new generation will be a combination, mixing, okay, of these characters. So there is a chance for new variations to come. New possibilities will be possible in the sexual reproduction. We will see about the reproduction in plants and reproduction in animals in this chapter. First, we will start with the reproduction in plants. We will see a brief difference between the asexual and sexual reproduction. Okay. Asexual reproduction, only one parent. Okay. And exactly same characteristics as parent. Offspring exact characters of the parent. Example, Hydra. All of you heard about Hydra earlier? Anyone?
So,
Where it is found?
so underwater.
Yes, it is there
Underwater.
So this here is the Hydra. It is found generally in the ponds or some dirty water. Okay, so it will be fixed. It is a fixed in one place. It is a green. It is be able to do this one, and it will have this kind of tentacles. So if any part of this body will break, it will be able to make a new Hydra. Similarly, amoeba. The amoeba is shapeless. It doesn't have any particular shape. It will be moving like this. Okay, so if something is cut out, say this much part is cut out, it will become the new amoeba. Okay, anywhere you cut it, it will become the new amoeba. So that is what it is, a asexual reproduction. It is not sexual reproduction. Only one parent is there. Okay, Hydra, in most of the bacteria and fungi also asexual reproduction takes place. That we are comparing with the sexual reproduction, in which there are the two parents of opposite mating type. Okay, so that is male and female, and they will produce specific gametes. Okay, gametes. So gametes are the cells which are specialized cells. These cells, they will fuse, okay, to produce the offspring. Okay, so both the male and female will fuse, the gametes will fuse to produce the offsprings. Okay, so the new offspring that is formed will have the mix of characters. of the parents. Okay, so this is the basic difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. Next we will see the reproduction in plants. So in plants also, generally most of the students they think that plants they will make the flowers, and by that one the reproduction will take place. But it is not necessary that all plants should produce flowers. Okay, so there are both flowering plants as well as non-flowering plants. Okay, so therefore reproduction will take place in plants by both asexual as well as sexual method. Okay, here also we have both methods. So first one we will see asexual reproduction in plants. There are the two main types of asexual reproduction in plants. One is the spore formation
and vegetative propagation.
and other is the
Vegetative propagation.
vegetative
Vegetative
propagation.
propagation.
Okay. Spores. Have you heard about this term spores before this anytime? Spores.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So where, in what context you heard about spores?
Sir, in leaves it is present.
In the
Sir, in leaves it is present.
in leaves.
Yes, sir.
Leaves, sir.
Okay.
Sir, small
The
spores.
leaves. The small pores is present.
Yes, sir.
Pores. Pores are different from spores. Pores are small holes. Okay. Minute holes are called pores. Pores on the skin. Okay, sometimes we also say no that the pores on the skin are covered with dust and oil, that is why some pimple or something is coming. Pores, these are pores.
Yes, sir.
Pores means small opening, small hole is a pore. Spore, S-P-O-R-E, spore. Spore is different. Spore is some kind of spherical structure, spherical, like a ball or whatever, sphere. Okay, small spore. These are produced by plants also, fungi also.
Yes, sir.
Fungal spores, we say fungal spores. So what is happening here in the case of plants, because we are studying about asexual reproduction in plants. So the spores, these are the reproductive cells that are produced by some bacteria, molds and ferns. Okay, here these molds are nothing but fungi. Spores are produced in the globular structures. They are produced in the globular structures called sporangia. Sporangia. Okay. So what you are seeing, the figure in this 2.1, this is the leaf of a fern plant. Fern. So most of you have seen a fern plant, ferns.
Yes, sir.
Mainly for decorative purposes. These days you will see most of the people, they will keep for decoration.
Yes, sir.
So we are seeing the front part of the leaf, but you see in the back side of the leaf, all leaves don't have this structure. In ferns particularly we will find it. So behind the leaf, this kind of brown structures are there. So sometimes people used to think that it is having some disease, some fungus or something, some disease is there, so we have to spray it or we have to throw it outside. But this is its own part of its own body, sporangia. Okay, these sporangia are the globular structures. Globular means
The spherical.
it is in the shape of a globe. Okay, all of you know a globe,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So it is in the shape of a
Yes,
globe.
that's
sir.
spherical also.
Yes, spherical. Okay, shape of
Spherical.
a globe. That is why it is said globular. Globular structure called sporangia. When sporangium matures, it bursts open to release the spores. So what you are seeing here in this leaf, is it a sporangia or is it
Yes, sir.
the spores?
Sir, it is a spore.
Sporangia.
Sir, sporangia.
Sporangia.
It
It is
is
sporangia.
it is the
Sporangia.
sporangia. This sporangia singular is the sporangium. Okay, what we are seeing with our direct eyes without any microscope, that is a very big structure. In this sporangia there are many sporangium are there, and inside that sporangium inside this many spores are there. Okay, so this is the sporangium. Inside the sporangium spores are there. So when this sporangium will get mature, then it will burst, it will crack open, and it will disperse all these spores into the air. These spores are very
Sir,
small.
by pollination also it can take.
In pollination in plants also, what is released? Pollen is released. Here
Yes, sir.
same kind of mechanism is there here also. Here what is releasing? Spores are releasing. So there it is the pollen grains. Pollen grains are also very small. We are of course we are able to see some color things. That is a different. But
Yes, sir.
unless you see under the
Yes, sir.
microscope, we cannot make out what it is. It looks something very fine powder only. Like that only the spores also. Okay, spores are very small. Sporangia is the singular of sporangium is the singular of sporangia, and sporangia is what we are seeing here in the diagram, that brown structure. So these spores they can disperse by wind or water. So this is one method, spore formation. The other method is vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. So what is the meaning of this vegetative?
Sir, vegetable propagation. Sir,
The
by the
new
roots or
plants
the
growing
stems.
from vegetative parts.
The roots or stems of the vegetables plant.
Sir, new plant grows from vegetative parts.
Yes, that is
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, sir.
From the vegetative
Roots
parts.
or the stems.
So when we say vegetative parts, that means the parts of the plant that are not involved in the reproduction, in the particularly sexual reproduction. The flower is there. The flower is a part of the plant. It is not a vegetative structure. It is a what you say a sexual structure. It is having the reproductive structures in that one. The remaining part of the plant is called the vegetative part of the plant. So here vegetative propagation means all the other parts of the plant other than these flowers and all is the vegetative part. So this will include the root, stem,
So like stem cutting in rose plant.
and some
Yes,
leaves
sir.
and so on. So vegetative propagation we can do using the vegetative parts like the root, stem and so on. This is a very important part of this chapter, vegetative propagation. First is about root, vegetative propagation by root. So generally those who have little bit of observation, they are very conscious. Vegetative propagation, cut it and put it that whatever stem in the soil, it will grow.
Yes, sir.
That thing most of the students they would have observed. Roots,
Yes, sir.
but have you heard about roots also, this kind of thing? That is less common.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
is not so common. So here, but roots also can be used for vegetative propagation. Here the tuberous roots of plants such as a sweet potato, dalia, this is not dalia, that Hindi dalia, this is dahlia, guava and mint. Okay, so these plants, if you take the roots and take the cutting and you put it in a fresh place, the soil, it will be able to grow into the new plant.
So only these plants or some other plants also like these?
Yes, there are some other plants
Sugar cane
also.
root also we will cut, then it will grow.
For example, the roots of the carrot, you can do this experiment sometime, because we buy carrots from the market. At that time what you do, anyway we don't eat that base of the carrot. Okay, now suppose the carrot
Yes,
is,
sir, that we will put in the soil.
Yes, sir.
okay, now
They are in water.
now you see some carrot is there like this, and from here some, this will be like this, and some leaves and all will come. So anyway this part we are cutting it, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
then
Sir, up and the down part.
yeah, then what you do, exactly instead of cutting from base, a little bit down you cut like this, and this one you plant it into the soil. You will get a new carrot plant from that. So the roots of the carrot, turnip, radish,
Sir,
onion is a bit different, we will see. Radish, they bear the buds at the base of the old stem. So here some buds will be there, and they can be used for the propagation of the new plant. So therefore, sweet potato, dahlia, guava, mint, carrot, turnip, radish, all of these are the can be used, roots can be used for the vegetative propagation. Okay. The next part is the stem. Using the stem for vegetative propagation. Now stem we all know is the aerial part of the plant. It is there above the soil. But the stem can also be underground. So when we say that the stem is underground, why not we call it as the root? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Because till
Yes,
now,
sir.
because till
Yes,
now
sir.
we are only learning from childhood that the plant above the soil is stem, branches, and below the soil roots. Simple.
Root.
That's all we know. But now the new thing they are telling that stem can also be under the ground. Okay. This is a modification, because whenever we are learning in the lower classes, we are learning about the general, what most of the plants and trees are there showing. Now what we are studying is the modifications. What are the, because it is we are using in our daily life, we will see. So stem is a very efficient way of vegetative propagation. Some plants can propagate by underground or aerial parts of the stem. Underground stem of certain plants, they will bear the buds that help in vegetative propagation. We will see some of the examples of the underground stem. First, underground stem. Okay, this is under the ground. What are the examples here? Is the first is the rhizome.
So rhizome,
Sir, tuber, bulb and comb.
Tuber,
bulb,
And
bulb.
corm.
and
Corm.
Okay. C